Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Homebrew Buffoonery. Now today's brew is an exact copy more or less, with just one minor addition to the last brew, which is going to be a Pilsner kind of lager. And I'm a bit all of a tither today because I had some rather good news yesterday when I got a message from one of the judges who was on the Best in Show panel for BrewCon. It's late November 2018 now, so he was down at BrewCon, and I was just about to go to bed last night, and I thought I'd check in on Facebook, and he was on there, and it says, "Oh, is there a link to the results?" And he went, "Yes, there is," sent it over, and before I could even look at it, he says, "You've won a bronze." So that there brewery is creating award-winning beers. So we got a bronze for the Czech Amber Lager, which was the Twinkles Swim Hater, which I did the day after I completely ruined my triathlon. That was at the beginning of September. So yay for me. So today what I'm doing is the exact copy of that German Pilsner, and on there's my malt. I've got a kilo 400 grams of normal pale malt. I'm not sure it was because the bloke in Homebrew shop wouldn't tell me. And then 200 grams of what's left of my carapils, which is that useless grain that Brewlosophy said, but it's in there anyway. And then I've got 100 grams of oatmeal, and now hopefully that should just give a little bit of a mouthfeel. If you watch the stout tasting video, I'm pretty sure that it's the oatmeal that made this silky feeling in my mouth. It was really, really nice. So hopefully that's what that's for. The yeast I'm going to use today, I don't have any W3470 like I did for the last batch, so I've been on Malt Miller, and I have ordered some Bohemian Lager yeast from its Mangrove Jack one, so I'm going to use half of one of those. And the hops I'm going to use today is the same as last though. It's 10 grams of Challenger at 60 minutes, and then 10 grams of SARS at 30 minutes. And I've also got a minor change to my water volumes in there. I've got 9 litres in here, and I've got 5 litres in here, because I'm not quite sure it was just enough last time, so I've put a little bit more water in across the system, and hopefully we'll get a bit more efficiency. Okay, so here's our grains. And here's our oatmeal. And that's us bang on 66, so I'm going to let it run like that just for 10 minutes or so to settle the grain bed. Get rid of those dough balls there, and then we'll move the pipes over and we'll get the old recirculation going. 67 degrees, not too bad. There's no heat going into the pan anymore, so that'll hold for 10 minutes and no bother. Okay, so we're 10 minutes in, and what I've done is I've swapped over our linkages there. My temperature is bang on 66, and if I keep my burner just as it is, it'll stay at 66. And I just need to keep these balanced now, keep the pumps balanced for another 50 minutes, and then we'll get onto the boil. Okay, so there's our hour mash up. Just keeping that little burner on there has kept it at 65 degrees perfectly for an hour, so hopefully that should make it a little bit drier. So all I need to do is get the work from here into there, which means turning off this pump here, which is the far plug. And all we need to do now is wait for the kettle to fill up, and hopefully I maybe get 10 litres, maybe 10.5 litres in there. It's a 12 litre pot, and then I'll be able to boil it down to maybe 9 litres, and that'll mean I'll be able to fill 2 demijohns properly, and then I'll pitch the yeast a third of a pack, because one pack's good for 25, isn't it? 25 litres, and I've got 10, so a third of a pack each will be fine. I'll leave me a bit left over as well. Okay, so we're just coming up to the boil now, and that's not too bad, but in the bottom here I've still got another 2.5, 3 litres or so. So I started with 14 litres, and I've come out with about 12.5, which is more than enough for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put what's in there into a demijohn, and I'm going to raw ale it again, see what happens. And this time it's not like the second runnings, this is the prime worts over, see what happens. I'll put in a little bit of USO5 because I'm going to do a cider as well, and I'm going to use USO5 on it, on the apple juice, to see what happens, just as a bit of an experiment. But it's just starting to come to a boil now, almost ready to put the hops in. Okay, just before I put my challenge in, I'm going to give you a cautionary brewer's tale. As I'm working on a stovetop like that, please make sure that you don't pick up the hot grill that's just been had a flame in it for an hour with your bare hands, because it hurts like bloody hell, and I'm lucky to get away with barely a scald. And yeah, I'm missing using this finger. It's hard work having a thumb and 3 fingers and that one sticking out like that. It's tricky, so cautionary tale, be careful. And there's my 10 grams of Challenger, and that I'm going to hang on the end of my doodad there, and I'll see it in half an hour for some SARS hops, 10 grams of SARS hops. And what I'm going to do in the last 15 minutes, I am going to put some whale flock in this time, just to see what the difference is between this and the previous brew. Okay, so here is what was left in the second stock pot, the one with the screen in it. It's not been boiled, and I'm going to dry up it after a week. The original gravity is 1034, so that's my starting gravity in it, which I should really look at in Brewer's Friend, but I never do. I always look at the end gravity really. And what I'm going to do is dry up it after 7 days with 10 grams of SARS, and leave it for another week. I'm not even going to bag it. I'm just going to drop pellets in and see what happens. Because it could go very, very wrong very, very quickly, but you know, everything's clean and sanitised, so we'll see how it goes. So as I said earlier, I'm not using a W3470 like I did with the last one. This one I'm going to use a Mangrove Jack M84 Bohemian lager yeast, and it says attenuation is medium, 72 to 76%. I have no idea what that means. High flocculation, I think that means it pulls a lot of stuff out of the wort, and it all falls to the bottom, and it'll go up to 8%, that's its tolerance. What does it say on it? A bottom fermenting lager yeast characterised by its dry and clean palate, typical of traditional Czech brewing. I should use that for my award-winning beer. Produces soft, delicate and well-balanced beers. For best results, ferment at 10 to 15 degrees C. Well, on the floor understairs in that there brewery, it's probably about 10 degrees, maybe 12 degrees, so it's just spot on, bang on. And it's worked really nicely with the other pills which are left on the floor. I've just done a gravity reading of those, and starting at 10.52, they're both down to 10.10, which is, you know, pretty good. That's it's like 5.3%, something like that. But I'm going to leave those another week or so, and then transfer them to a secondary just to clean them up a little bit, and then hopefully have some finings by then. And I might split the batch and put half in bottles with finings and half without, and see if they carbonate. Okay, so there's my end of a teaspoon of wheel flock, and that goes in and fizzes round a bit. Now there's only 15 minutes left in there, and then it's going to give it a quick whirlpool, and I'm going to leave it for half an hour so I can run off and have a shower, because it's now something past 9 in the evening, 20 past 9 in the evening, and it'll give me a chance to get myself ready, and then when I come back down, it'll be cool it down and get it into demijohns, and looking forward to seeing how much wort I get to put in the demijohns. Okay, so that's the boil over, and using my handy measuring stick, so that is 5 litres at the bottom, and that is 7.5 litres at the bottom of that line of gaffer tape. I have about just to the top of that second piece of gaffer tape there. That's what I've got. So I've probably got 7 and 5, 6, 7, maybe 7 3/4 litres. There is loads and loads of stuff in there. That must be the whirl flock doing its business. So what I'm going to do now is going to give it a quick whizzy whirlpool, and then I'm going to cover it over and give it half an hour, and then I'm going to have a shower, shave off the old whiskers, and then try and get it cooled down to a nice cool pitching temperature and put it on the floor of that there brewery. Okay, so we've had a shower, freshened up, and it's now 10:15 in the evening, and I'm just about to transfer my whirlpooled wort into my cooling pan and then give it a quick whiz round with the old water from the sink, which is currently at 10 degrees C, and we'll see how clear it is, and we'll see what's left at the bottom of the mash tun as well. Oh, you know what? It's lovely and clean again. It's nice and clear. So I'm going to stick with the Whirlfloc, I think. And my only issue now is whether it's going to overflow the pan. Okay, so now I don't know whether you can see or not, but there is a definite little peak of nonsense rubbish at the bottom of the pan, and that's because of the whirlpool effect. If you get the vortex down far enough, it forms that little peak in the middle there, and that's, I suppose, what we're looking for. But there's all this wort around the outside that I want to get into my pan, so I'm going to get myself a little sieve covering the port over there and see what I can get out of it and see what's finally left. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. I've made a right cock of that. That didn't work at all well, but you can see, I don't know whether you can see or not, how much nasties there are in the wort. Now hopefully that's all going to settle out. I can see it settling out now, and I'll maybe just be able to pour a little bit more off the top, because I'm looking to get 3.5–4 litres per demijohn here. I think what I might have to do is get a bigger cooling pan so I can hold it, because I'm doing quite well there. I think about 7 3/4 litres, nearly 8 litres there, and I'm right happy. So this has been sat for 5 minutes, and this was the dregs at the bottom of my mash tun that I couldn't get out, and you can see I've already taken the top third of a litre off, and you can see how quickly it separates out, and all this stuff here is from the Whirlfloc, I think. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer all that's in the cooling pan here and everything back into the main boiling pot, and then I'm going to give it another whirlpool, and then I'm going to put it into a fermenter from there, because it's a much easier way of sorting it out, getting the beer into the fermenter that way. So, but you can see there what the Whirlfloc does, and I'm definitely going to have to keep using it. Okay, so here we're at the end. There is the wort. It's actually really rather clear, which is good. So it's a double whirlpool. We'll just have a quick check of the old gravity. So gravity is 1042, which quite frankly is rubbish. I don't know why. Maybe it's because there was too much water and not enough grain again. I'll maybe have to think about the ratios, grain to water. But 1042, if I get it down to 1010, that's 4.5%. That's more or less pretty much in my range. That's pretty good. It's nice and clear wort now, and all I need to do is hopefully get myself 4 litres in each demijohn. Let's go. Oh, it's lovely and clean. That is super, super clean. Really, really nice and clear. Oh, I'm dead happy with that. Dead happy. Okay, so that's it in the demijohns. I've definitely got more there.
is 7.5, 7 3/4 litres. I will say that this one is tons cleaner than that one, which is what I nearly spilled on the floor just then, but that'll all settle out and that should be fine. So all that's left to do is pitch some yeast, which I won't bother showing you. You're putting yeast in an hole, it's not too hard, is it? A third of a packet of the old M84, stick her under the stairs in that there brewery, and leave it for 3 weeks. So that's another brew day done. You know, you can like and you can subscribe, and make sure you've got first aid on hand, because stove tops are bloody hot.